probably felt like you've been here for several months already.
It kind of has. We've been through a lot a little bit already. So.
We have a couple new assistant superintendents. Jamie Flaherty has moved up here from Johnson. Welcome. And Bill Bradford starts next week as well. And so with the opening at Johnson, Ashley DeCaos, there she is in the back, is now our new principal at Johnson Elementary. And I already saw that you have a video out there.
Yeah, I do, yes.
And then, what led to that, Ginger Webb has taken a new opportunity, I believe, over at Northern Kentucky University. And then a new one that just is not even several hours old is Brian Robinson is moving to a new opportunity with the College Board as well. So we are looking for a new high school principal. What's that? Oh, I'm sorry.
Summer-Rosa.
Oh yeah, it's on here. Oh yeah, so Summer-Rosa. I'm sorry. I had not met you before, so I apologize. New special ed director. Thank you, Jamie. Keep me in line. All right, so we got a lot of changes going on. So, community forum. Anybody like to speak on any items before we move on? No? Okay. All right, first action item. Jerry?
As with the past few months, we'll kind of talk about the high school renovation and one project update. As we talked about last week, not much movement. I did contact John Hodge with Century Construction, and we've arranged to meet Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Wednesday this week looked like the only day we might not have some rain. So we're gonna climb all around the roof, exterior and interior, and look into those issues. And I asked the high school custodial staff to have ladders on hand and hoses so we can do some water testing. And then in addition, we are going to get some independent contractors to give us some second opinions on what may be found up there. So we're going to have Century do their work, but we're also looking at getting independent opinions to compare to what they have to say. So that process begins Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. if anybody wants to join us. So there's no action items.
Not interested in joining you, but interested in
hearing on what we find.
In
if
August being done
Well,
with this. So push something, please.
Mm-hmm.
One direction or another, please.
So
No action items on either of the high school projects?
nope.
Okay.
I wouldn't expect an action item until we feel they have satisfactorily completed the work that remains.
Okay.
And we may not know that for several months after they complete
After
the
they've
work.
been here.
Because we want to know.
If you don't mind, give us an update after
Sure.
that. Let us know how that goes. Okay, Moyer.
So on the Moyer project update, things are going quite well. As usual, we are close. It will be later this month that trucks will roll onto campus and start unloading furniture and equipment for the building. That is scheduled for the last week of July. Then late that week or early the next week, we'll start moving our teachers in. The majority of the flooring is in, and they're working on finishing touches and just all the final site signage and interior signage and everything that's going to kind of be the finishing touches. Joe and I will likely schedule, maybe not late this week, early next week, a punch list visit. We talked about that previously, so that they can start working on those little details that they missed. We do have a few action items, but we'll see if you have any questions about anything you may have seen. The front of the building, I guess I should mention, if you drive down Highland Avenue, it looks like a war zone, as they have done a lot of work on the interior. Very few people have ventured in there, and I dare say, I mentioned this last week, that if the current Moyer staff walked through there, they'd probably cry because it is completely different All the interior walls are gone. They're starting to cut in the windows. It will eventually be windows from the 3rd floor down to the media center. It looks on the inside what you think it would look by looking at the outside. So they're making great progress on Jose is on the demolition.
You know why it looks like a war zone out there? The building where they worked on the brick looks like it's new brick. I mean, it's amazing how different it already looks when you look at the building and how much it matches well with the part in the back.
That's the goal.
I know.
Fingers crossed.
So they've just done, is that just the grout or is that the cleaning too?
And that's just the grout.
Yep.
They're gonna clean it. They're gonna get like all that black algae stuff off the limestone.
Yeah. Looks good.
So yeah, ultimately it should end up looking practically brand new. So we do have a few action items. I told you last week that we wouldn't have a separate change proposal to go in change order 6, and then I saw change order 6 and got a little surprised with change proposal 63, which we had talked about being moving the door from the 2nd floor down to the 1st floor. And I had talked to Gene about it and given him a price that was based upon information that I had been given by Morel. And then when I saw it on the official change order, the price was a little higher, actually about double, requiring board approval for change proposal 63. So I called Joe and said, Joe, what's going on here? Why is the price higher? And he explained that when I had given that information to Gene, it was a little bit incomplete. It did not include 2 major items, which were access control and also the doors that were slated to go on the 2nd floor were hollow metal doors, which didn't, Joe looked at it, and I think Matt Morel maybe even suggested that you don't want to put those doors there. They don't look like anything else. You really need to get a little bit of curtain wall and glass, full glass doors, so it looks like it belongs in that area. And that's what drove that price up. And as conversations Joe had with Matt, and Matt fully priced and got in to Joe shortly before, he was not aware that I had gone to Gene and given him that price and wasn't aware that I had given you the other price. So that's why we're asking for approval of something a little bit higher, and that's where the difference is.
Has any of that gone down to Frankfurt yet for approval? Nothing.
When change order 6, should change order 6 be approved, it will then be uploaded to KDE's data transmission site, and hopefully they will review it in relatively short order and get back with us on what we have. So
That amount that's on the screen is different. I think it's 28 change is what was on the change order that was sent to us on Friday.
When I got this one,
Yeah, if it was- that
this is the one that I just got though from Joe's office today.
So it's different than what's on this
I'll have
document.
to check it tomorrow. I don't know anything.
Because this was in the
I think
whole
the idea
package.
behind necessitating this action item was
Yeah,
it was above 25.
Yes,
Right.
that's why we put it on there, because it was higher than that.
I'm sorry, it's over 20 has to be done with the board
Okay.
approval.
Okay.
Over 25 is a KDE issue, but
Okay.
we are
We
at,
did
our
20.
threshold is
Okay.
20.
I can double check it tomorrow.
Yeah, because I also, when I looked up there, that's a little lower than what.
Yeah, this was the packet that Carol sent me today.
Okay. The overall cost of change order 6 is about what we projected it to be, because even though this is higher, there were more credits, and some of the credits that we were still waiting on pricing on that got included in there were a little higher than what we had thought they would be. So that part has kind of balanced out to a total change order when we get to that. But I guess we need to, because if we're going to approve it for 22,027, so if it's different,
Can they like approve it up to 30,000
Yeah,
or something
up
like
to-
that?
Yeah, I
If it's
think that'd be a
28,
good idea.
like
We can do that up to 30. Yeah, and I think with this change proposal and regarding all that project, we're planning on submitting this and seeing if we have any concerns with Frankfurt
yes.
before we go back and take another look at it, right?
So we want to put it that way? And the amount up to 30,000?
Yeah, we'll on the cover letter that goes to KDE, we'll indicate the reason why, because, you know, they might argue over the detail, the wisdom of doing it that way. So I think
Okay.
But I think that's
Just put it as the $28,000 number?
Which one is on your document?
28,000,
You have
27, and
I-
that also was.
I would think that the way it's worded, it gives us the leeway that, and again, Peggy can offer an opinion on this because she's better about this, that if we find out that it's different than the 22, them approving up to 30 would give us the leeway in the minutes to change it to that higher number. I would think.
And an amount up to, yeah. So
Okay.
we would change it this way. And, okay.
Okay, we'll try
Because I
this
can
way.
change it, I can change it into the actual amount. I'll note it when we have it, I'll add it into the action item in the minutes on what it actually ended up being.
Okay. Any other questions? So we need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Next item, change order 6, which as we discussed comprises the change proposal 63, the 2 proposed or approved last month, along with a number of items that Gene approved and below the $20,000 threshold, and it includes a number of credits back.
And this is pretty close to the number we've talked about.
Yeah, we talked about a number. I estimated that we'd be in the between 140 and 150. And we, Carol, Joe, and I talked through Thursday or Friday, I can't remember which day it was, that we are in excess of $400,000 remaining in the contingency. So,
Okay, any questions on change order 6?
well, at that
This doesn't
point.
detail it, it just says that's the sum, the change, that's all it is, right?
Okay.
You good? Okay. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And then we told you last month that pay apps to Morel would start to go down some. This one's below the $1 million mark at $853,378. And we may see a little spike next month because of the extensive work that Jose is doing, but we'll level out back to the kind of the numbers we had been for a while when we were in the first phase of the project. So approval of change or pay application 20 for that amount.
Okay.
Since I sit next closest to Brad, I'll say, Joe, you okay with that?
Very nice.
It looks okay. All right, I need a motion and a second for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I think I'm done.
All right. Thank you, Jerry. All right, Mr. Howe?
You need me to stand up here? All right, so we are at the middle school with the addition of 2 staff. We've created another team. So we have a third 6th grade team and a third 7th grade team. So you know, we have team leaders at all the other teams on each grade level. So we just need to add an additional team leader that assumes the same responsibilities of the other team leaders, which is meeting with me and just coordinating events and our approaches for that particular team we created.
Does 8 have a third?
8 does not.
8 does not, okay, so just 6 and 7?
Yes.
Okay.
We only got 2 people. I mean, if you want to give us 2 more, we can. We can keep adding some teams.
I don't think we're ready to do that today.
We were, you know, what the additional team at the 6th and 7th did, it did allow us to reduce, I think, average class size numbers below 30, which we haven't had in the last 2 or 3 years. So I feel good about that. And then we did some things in 8th grade to be able to balance those numbers out there as well. So they're closer to 30, but that's a really big group.
Didn't you say these teachers are dual certified?
They are, yes.
Are we still doing all right with classrooms? How
We
tight's that
did.
getting?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming you're aware, but we have created classrooms out of 2 of the site-based rooms. So when you enter the building now, you'll see a new wall, and we're building classrooms there. Jerry's been working on a couple. They were painting them today, so they're going to give us just enough room so that we house everyone.
Okay. Any other questions? I need a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Carries. Thank you.
have 3 action items to discuss tonight. The first would be our second reading for our policy changes. Those do not differ from what you received last month as a first read. And again, those are just standard updates based on our new regulations and statutes that were approved most recently.
Okay. No questions? All right, I need a motion for approval of the policy changes.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Our next item would be school fees for the next school year. We do reflect 0 increases with our lunches, our general fees for high school, middle school, and elementary. So we are proposing those as indicated on our screen. And we did extensive research to make sure that we were being very intentional about the carry forward or carry over and making sure that we're decreasing that each year.
I forgot to ask the other day, but is there any big jumps in there that somebody that would have paid it last year would notice?
There are no significant increases at all.
Okay.
No.
And I did receive your information today. Thank you for that.
Did that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We'll just continue to look at it.
Yes, we will
That's it.
continue to monitor
Sure.
it.
Okay, I need a motion and a second for approval of school fees.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And motion carries.
And my last topic would be our lunch program recommendation. So it's that time of year for us to discuss if we are going to continue to opt out of the federal lunch program. And I do want to provide a recommendation that we would opt out for the 17-18 school year based on our revenue and expenses and our program status as of today.
Yeah, when you shared the numbers the other day, when we continue to perform very well in that, and I know we're continuing to look at it and make sure the kids are eating their food and stuff, but it seems to be going very well.
Yes, and Karen and I will have meetings in the upcoming future with Ms. Sama regarding food quality and making sure that we are spending our revenue appropriately when we're looking at those generated.
Got it. Okay, need a motion and a second to approve the lunch program recommendation.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And motion carries.
All right,
Thank
thank
you. All right, Karen?
Okay. RFP for public relations and marketing services. So the board had expressed an interest in, it's a lot of excitement out there, had expressed an interest in increasing our use of social media to market and brand the district. And while we have an amazing PR person in Peggy Hughes, that's one of many jobs that she has. And also Diana does such a great job of, keeping our Facebook page and our Twitter account up to date, but it is a full-time job. And so we wanted to increase the use of social media. We know that is the way to more directly communicate, and hopefully two-way communication with our community. So what we decided to do is we're putting out a request for proposals for products and services for marketing. And so this will include some consultation and strategic planning for an entire plan for social media and other types of public relations and branding, project management. Something that's very important to me is the content development and writing, because we want to make sure that we not only have this plan, this lofty plan, but that we have someone who could help with actually writing that content and getting that out there for us with regards to our Twitter accounts, Instagram, and Facebook specifically. And also some photography services, videos, and so we are going to put out a request for proposals for organizations to respond to. We hope to have this ready for our next board meeting so that we could approve that. We'll be asking those organizations that do put forth a proposal to actually come to probably our next working board meeting and to be able to describe their services and so we can answer questions. So that's where we are. So I'm recommending that we approve the RFP.
And so we previously had this on an agenda where we're going to approve hiring somebody.
Right.
And we've changed some, I guess, Mark, you know why we've gone to RFP and all that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So we wanted to make sure we were putting it out to the public.
Got it. Okay. Very good. Okay. Any questions? No, if not, I need a motion and a second for RFP for Public Relations and Marketing Services.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, and motion carries. Okay, discussion items. I don't know, has there been any,
We just gotta make something up, it can't be this quick.
I told them it was gonna be quick. I don't think there's been any board committee meetings over the last month. No, not. All right, we'll move to the consent agenda. Need a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
And all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and motion carries. And other business? I know that next time we meet, school will be starting in a couple days after that, right?
Yeah. So the
And-
breakfast is the 10th?
Teacher breakfast on August 10th. And what day do teachers actually come back?
That's your
That
first
day?
day.
That's the first day?
It's opening day.
And new teachers come on the 4th and the 7th.
Okay. And there's lots of open houses at all the schools between now and then. What's that? Oh, deployment. That's right. Oh, yeah, deployment. That is a big deal. It's a big deal.
August 3rd for Woodville,
August 3rd.
3-7.
August 9th for Johnson.
All right.
July 29th, Middle High.
I think the Moyers is on the 7th, if I remember reading that right. So, well, good. Any other items? If not, close the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, sorry. I almost got it.
Now we'll play Karen.
Yeah. Thank you, Karen.
Dang. So moved.
All right. All those in favor?
Oh, you guys are actually
All right,
doing
we're
that as
done.
an action item.
Oh.
Did we?
No.
See?
Normally,
We did so
Brad
well
just
for
says
you.
we're adjourned.
Oh,
see?
Here, it just says we're
All right, we're
adjourned.
adjourned.
Oh, okay.
We're done.
I was close then. Okay. I was close.
It's half and half.